I cannot believe it's February already and I have to go back to work, but that's beside the point. We're gonna do a reset routine to prepare myself for this next month, but before I reset my life, I also need to reset my space. So if that's something you're keen to see, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. Okay, now that I'm equipped with coffee, we can get down. Ah, my knee, it's okay, I'm fine. I'm all right. Don't stress, Mac. Mac, stop stressing. I'm fine. He wasn't stressed at all, but I was for a second there. Getting old. Get down to business, let's go. So, starting off with a little budget update. January wasn't a great start to me saving money. But in saying that, I bought a new car. So I was able to tick one of the big things off my goals list. So yay me for that. I still need to sell my old car. So that's gonna be on my February list of things to do. So because I took out like a large chunk of my savings to buy the car, the savings are now a bit dwindled, which is sad. And then I also needed to pay for insurance, which was like $900. That was expensive. And then I also needed to pay my transfer fee, my stamp duty, and I thought that I wouldn't need to pay rego because they said it had 12 months rego on it. But when I went to the place to like put through all of my transfers, they told me that when they registered it, they didn't have to pay the rego fee because they were pensioners. And so when it came into my name, I would then have to pay the fee because basically they want their money. So there goes $1,200 in one day, just on all the transfers, rego, etc. So I'm sad to report we have had $0 in the savings for January. Don't worry guys, February we are gonna knuckle, no actually I take that back. In February I've got to buy things for the wedding, but hopefully I will be able to tuck some money away. So we've got that done. All right, let's start having a look at some of my planners, habit trackers, and etc. And I'll take you through what I did for January, and then we'll get February organized. So let's talk about all that I just did here to get myself prepped and organized. So first of all, you guys would have seen if you watched my January plan with me, this is my journal or diary for the year. All of my January appointments or events, whatever, were written in green to correspond with the green color of January, and I just use a highlighter to cross them out once they had been completed. And then obviously moving into February, my color scheme is going to be blue to align with that. So I just went ahead and put in any events that I've got coming up. So that's that one done. And then moving over here to my bullet journal, I read a lot of articles, or I should say, a lot of articles on Pinterest, but I don't usually take the time to go back and read them and make notes. So I'm really interested in cycle syncing, both in terms of my workouts and in terms of food. So I had screenshotted this, I think it was a TikTok video about cycle syncing your workouts, and I just wanted to make notes so that I could actually put it into practice. So that's one thing that I want to do more often. I've also set up my February TBR page, and we are soon going to traverse into my library area where I can share with you my feedback on my January books, and then also my plans for February reading. And then we've also got my habit tracker. So these are the first 4 weeks of the year. Obviously in week 1, I did a great job with sleeping, me time, reading, creative, God time, and actually eating at home. I ticked next to the ones that I had gotten done every single day. One thing that I was a bit sad about in terms of week 2 is that I didn't have any no spend days, which probably contributed to the fact that I haven't saved any money so far in January, but I was good at sleeping, 20 minutes of me time, washing my face, and moving my body. Week 3, me time, face, body, also a creative job, and my God time got ticked. And then I'm still in week 4, even though when you guys watch this, it will be the 1st of February. We're still in January at the filming time. And then the final thing I've done so far in terms of my planning is update my desktop background for a February vibe. So over in important, I've changed my to-dos. I've got wedding invites out. I actually need to create them and send them. I'm gonna send them digitally. And then book florist. I know the florist I want to use. I kind of even know the arrangements I want to have, so I just need to set that in stone. I will have a year 12 assessment task due in week 1 that we're back at school, so I'll need to mark that and get those back to the kids. This month I'd like to save $1,000, and then I also need to organize our wedding decor. So Dave's going to build a wooden arbor. We're going to have some material to go over that, and then we're going to have some butcher's paper for our charcuterie boards. And then I also changed some of my images but kept it in that light pastel and coastal grandmother type vibe. And the only thing I added to my summer vibes list was happy times with students, because I will be meeting my kids for the year and I really want to start off the year great and cement my class routines and expectations. It's my favorite part of any video. We are talking books, and these are the ones I had selected for my January reads, and I can confirm I have finished-ish all of them, except for Fields of Joy, because this is more of a devotional, and so I wasn't just going to sit down and read it cover to cover, which I could very easily do, but I've also gone through and given these books a rating, and some of them I wasn't too impressed with, and actually this is one of them. And it makes me quite sad because it's by Ruth Chow Simmons and I freaking love her. Like, I've got her Beholding Becoming book right there and it's amazing. It was part of my best of 2022. This one I rated 2.5 out of 5, and the reason for it was, and I didn't realize this when I ordered it, it does still have those beautiful artwork that we're so familiar with of hers, but this is the devotion. It's got like a 1-sentence overview and then a one passage from the Bible, like a little quote, and I just felt like there wasn't enough substance in there for me. And it's called Fields of Joy, so it's all about cultivating joy, but a lot of the passages that she's using, none of them are really sticking out to me. So I'm reading like maybe 1 or 2 pages every day just to get some of the word into me, but I just don't feel a connection to it, which makes me really sad. So that's my first one. And then moving on to some of my fiction. First one I finished was The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I loved it. I loved the TV show, so I knew that if the book was anything like it, I would love that as well. I really liked the fact that it had a non-linear structure, so it was going between like her current age and when she was 10, 11, 12, etc., and showing how her relationship with the boys and herself ultimately has evolved over the years. One of the things that I really didn't like comparing the book to the TV show is Belly. And she's the main character. I just found in the TV show, she was a lot more mature for her age, and in the book I think she's maybe 16, and she just acts so silly and so immature, and it was just really quite annoying to me. And considering that, you know, I love the TV show so much and I really wanted to like her, every time she would do something that was like, you know, a 9-year-old would do, I would just get like really grated by it. But still, I do have the other 2 in the series and I'm going to persevere onto those as well. But I rated this one, I think, a 4.5 out of 5, because I did still, even though she annoyed me, yeah, 4.5 out of 5, I still did really like the storyline, and you know, I still have that love-hate relationship between Conrad and Jeremiah. I still don't know which team I'm on. I feel like in the TV show, by the end of the first season, I was on Team Jeremiah, but in the book, because she is so wrapped up in Conrad, it's kind of hard for you to not be on Team Conrad because she's swaying you in that direction. Whereas in the TV show, you don't get that much of a narrator perspective, so you're able to have your own opinion about it all. So moving on then to my next one is You and Me on Vacation, and I also rated this a 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I liked both of the main 2 characters. So we've got Poppy and Alex, And something happened one summer. They go on vacation every summer together, and something happened 2 summers ago. You know something happened, but you don't know what it is. And I also like that this one had that non-linear structure. So it's kind of teasing you and building tension about what the thing is that kind of ruined their friendship and the reason why they haven't been speaking for 2 years. And it's keeping you sort of hooked. You're wanting to figure out what it is. And then it's also quite obvious that Poppy's in love with Alex, even though she doesn't realize it yet, and you just desperately want to see if they end up together. So this one I can definitely recommend. And then another one that I also liked, I rated this 4 out of 5 stars, is It Happened One Summer. This is also, you know, a nice light-hearted romance. Big difference between this one, however. One, it's linear, but also it's quite steamy. There's some steamy scenes in it. So that was interesting to read. I feel like I didn't quite love the characters though, as much as I did in You and Me on Vacation. Brendan, he was all right. He had like that kind of gruff, like, fisherman type attitude, and you knew that there was like something deeper beneath the surface, but you really didn't get to the crux of that character. Piper, she started off seeming like very superficial and conceited, and obviously her time in Westport down by the sea, you knew that she was going to change and, you know, figure out her roots and fall in love with Brendan. Like, it's a very predictable storyline, but also just quite nice as well. So if you're looking for something lighthearted, this is a good one. And then my last book. I did not save the best for last. In fact, I saved the worst for last. I hated the 5 a.m. Club so much. I read a couple of chapters of it and I put it down. I decided I'm not reading it and I'm sending it back to Vinnie's where I got it from. And I'll tell you why. I love the idea of this. I thought that this was a self-help book about how to wake up early and the benefits of waking up early. And it is beneath the surface. So they tried to be interesting or different about this. And instead of writing it as a non-fiction, they have done like this hybrid fiction, non-fiction. So it actually has characters, and those characters are trying to teach you the principles of this 5 a.m. Club method through the narrative. Now, the only real way that they could do that is through an absolute crap ton of dialogue. So it's these characters like getting together in like very cliche, awkward situations and just having this cliche, awkward dialogue and like chunks of this dialogue to try and teach you the principles. I think that this could be a very thin book that just gets straight to the point. I attempted to kind of flick through and see if I could actually find the bits in the story where there was teaching, and I could, but they were so woven in there that it was really hard to pinpoint it. And even when you could find like the helpful hints and the actual teaching, it was written in like such an elaborate way, not straightforward at all, that you could barely comprehend like the essence of what they were trying to say. So, sorry, Robin Sharma, but this book sucks. If anyone likes this book, can you please let me know in the comments down below what you got from it? What kind of learning or teachings you were able to garner from this, because for me it was so hard, and I feel like there's probably useful information in there, but I just can't wade through the crap, or I can't be bothered wading through the crap to get to it. So if you could help me out, that would be really helpful. Now moving on to my book selections for February. I have a much smaller pile because, well, I'm just gonna be busier essentially. So I really need to, you know, tone it down on the reading here. So my 4 books that I selected are kind of around either summer, because it's the last month of summer in Australia, love, because we got Valentine's Day, or I chose them because they're all of like a white neutral aesthetic. Actually, before I get into those real quick, I forgot. I had finished some of my January books early and I wanted something else to read after I ditched that ugly 5 a.m. club. So I read this one, I Kiss Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston, and I really liked it. Granted, I think the first like 2/3 of the book was better than the last third. Basically, Shara Wheeler, this like perfect popular girl at school, just vanishes, goes missing, and she randomly kisses 3 different people beforehand and gives them all a clue to spur on a scavenger hunt to find where she is. And along the way with all these clues, she's revealing secrets about herself. So things that she feels about them or bad things that she did, etc. So I really like that looking for Shara part. But then when they find her, for me, the story kind of takes like a bit more of a bland ending. I'd still say it was maybe a 4 out of 5. Like if it had have just continued the way the start of it was, I'd go like a 4.5 out of 5. The ending part was more like a 3.5 out of 5 for me, so I'm just gonna middle it and go a 4. Okay, with that being said, let's get into our February books. So I've got 2 fictions. First one, Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. Your heart will lead you home, and it says on the back, she finished with her bad news boyfriend and she's ready to join her best friend Lila Montgomery on tour. Lila's country music superstar and she's nursing a broken heart of her own. It's a perfect opportunity for a girls only road trip back, full of breakup ballads and healing hearts. But Reagan's vow to live drama free is tested by the arrival of Matt Finch. He's Lila's opening act, and his boy next door charm is difficult to resist. So Reagan O'Neill is leaving her rebellious ways behind. 2 best friends, 2 broken hearts, 1 summer that will change everything. So it sounds like a very uplifting, you know, romancy type situation. I'm all for that. And then my second one is The Arrangement, Love for Money, What Could Go Wrong, and it's by Robin Harding, and I actually already started reading this. Just made a little dent in it yesterday, obviously because I finished all my Jan books, and it's basically about a girl named Nat. She's an art student in NYU. She's super broke, can't even pay her bills, and so she decides to find herself a sugar daddy. But as you can imagine, a once, you know, mutually beneficial situation turns quite deadly. So I'm looking forward to, we've just been introduced to Nat and she's starting to look for the sugar daddy, but I'm looking forward to when things start getting a bit complicated. And then part of my non-fiction, first one is The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. I love Fixer Upper, so I'm really keen to read about their story. They've just got like a very sweet, southern, homely type vibe, which is definitely up my alley. And then my last book is Loveology. Loveology, God, Love, Marriage, Sex, and the Never-Ending Story of Male and Female, and it's by John Mark Comer. And it says on the back, Loveology starts with marriage and works backwards. Comer deals with sexuality, romance, singleness, and what it means to be male and female, ending with a raw, uncut, anything goes Q&A dealing with the most asked questions about sexuality and relationships. And obviously this is from a Christian perspective. So that's my little lineup for February, and I'm going to put those in my bullet journal TBR page so that once I've finished each of them, I can do my rating. The final thing I'm gonna do as part of my Feb reset routine is a little closet clean out. I've started putting some things to the side that I do want to either donate or see if anyone in the family wants to have. My figure has been changing a little bit over the last like 6 months, and there's some clothes that I now feel either uncomfortable to wear or like just not my best wearing, and it's really important to be physically comfortable and also just feel my best in clothes. So I'm going to go through and put those in a bag and just have a try on of some other things. But first I just want to show you If you haven't watched my Canberra family adventure vlog, one, go do that. But I picked up these boots from a thrift shop over in Canberra. They cost me $28. They are brand new, like literally guys, never been worn. And I had a look online. They're by a brand named Joe Mercer, and they normally retail for close to $300, and I got them for 28 bucks. Like, if that is not an absolute score, I don't know what is. Go me!
I could really use some stuff like that. The colors, summer love.
So that is me done for the day, and I'm now prepped for the month ahead. I hope it has inspired and motivated you guys to get organized as well. I'm actually thinking about doing one of these monthly reset routines every month this year. So if that's something you're keen to see, make sure you give this video a thumbs up or let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. With that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.